learn from your mistakes, because apparently I didn't do that when I made the second one. Hi there, Michelle here, and welcome back. And I think it's everything. I think I have everything here. Everything that I crocheted in 2022. January to about May, June-ish. I want to document in a video everything that I crocheted. Again, crocheted mainly for my channel is in this video. Previous video, which is here, and if you have not watched it, watch it. I believe it is my second most viewed video, so I feel like a lot of y'all have come to my channel because of that video. Here is part 2 of that. But if you haven't watched that, definitely go check that out, because I go into more detail of all the, maybe a little thing about them of how they've kind of like worn, or how I've like, you know, how they've been the last 6 months, and then everything from like June to now. I am going to go into more detail because I haven't really done a video for them yet, if that makes sense. Also, everything that I am mentioning in this video, if there's a video for it on my YouTube channel, if you go into the description, I will have them all linked there. That way when you're done this video, if you want to check them out, you can just go to the description, find which one, click it, and go right to it on my YouTube channel. And I feel so bad about it. At the time, I had maybe a little over 2,000 subscribers, maybe 100 views a video, if that, not a lot going on. And I decided I'm going to make, didn't know that's what it was, of me making this balaclava hat. Boy, was I wrong. I should have done a full step-by-step tutorial, and I think in my last video I did mention I was gonna do it, and I haven't done it. I feel like I have a little bit more time that I can maybe bust out a few, and then you unfold it and you got the balaclava. I've never worn it. It's a good sturdy hat. I just never wore it. My sister has, so I gave it to my sister and I just kind of took it back to show this in this video. Speaking of that balaclava, that everybody tags me in their photos of Instagram, and I honestly love seeing your color combinations, because then that just gives me more ideas. And I really want to make another one, but with more like, you know, browns and oranges and all that jazz, such as started making like a fingerless glove. So it's like 3/4 done. But I want to make a balaclava with these colors because I think that would look really cute. This has to be one of my favorite projects. It's so adorable. I've been wearing it lately a lot, mainly because, you know, it's winter now. I can wear it now again. It was just so simple to make. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 granny squares. You sew them together. You make sure there's a spot for your head. I'm good to go. I love this one. I also made this really cute granny square vest. I made it either right after or right before this one, and honestly, it was just a gigantic granny square on both sides. And then I just attached them. Learned a lot from this. I think I would have made it a little bit smaller. I think I would have done the ribbing a little bit different, but it still fits good. I still get compliments when I wear it. It's still cute. I do forget about it time to time. I just do. You know, I go through my phases and then I look at my closet and I'm like, how long has that been sitting there? Because I forgot it existed. This checkered bag here, this is my very first attempt at doing anything with a checkered pattern. I really liked how the bag of it turned out. There are a few things that I would have changed. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to make the sides really long strips and separate and then sew them together. I mean, it kind of gives the bag a little bit more shape. The straps have really stretched out. I've learned a lot from this bag, and I think I would have put a liner in it, and I probably should still do that now. I feel like I'm going real fast for these, but like I said, we're gonna zoom through the first half of the year so we can take it slow for the second half of the year. This sweater here, and then on the back, it's really cute. I really do like this. I've only worn this a handful of times, but I have learned a lot when it comes to the ribbing and the cuffs of the cuffs and on the bottom. And I think what I would have done is I would have made these a lot longer and I would have cinched it in a lot more. Same with here, because when I first did it, this was a lot closer together, but the more you wear it, the more it's going to stretch out, and when it stretches out, it shrinks down. My latest project, I've taken what I learned from this and applied it to that. That's the thing with crocheting, is that you learn from project to project. Also kind of forgot I own this. I don't really have a really good closet system, so sometimes I'll fold things and then I'll stack them on top of each other, and then I won't really pay attention to what's in the middle. It's usually like what's on top I'll see most. Kind of the reason why I don't wear certain things, because I just forgot about them. So now I do have a few thrift flips. This sweater I didn't make. It is knitted. I thrifted it from Poshmark, but I did make all of these cute little flowers. The reason why I don't have a tutorial on making these flowers is because I had a Poshmark video I had to do for them, and so that was part of that video, and I very new to collaborations and stuff, so I didn't want to make a YouTube video for it and then being like, oh no, we only wanted an Instagram reel, we didn't want that. You know what I mean? But now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I should have just done it. So maybe one day I will get to it of making a little tutorial for this, but these are very simple flowers. You can find patterns on Pinterest and you can find other tutorials on YouTube, and then all I did was I just sewed them with the same color yarn as the flower just to the sweater. Oh, and then the other one I did was a Levi's dupe, I guess. I didn't want to spend $90, so I just kind of, you know, made it myself. Thrifted this one again from Poshmark, and then I made these SpongeBob hippie looking flowers to go on the sides. I put them on the pockets, and then I also put like these really cute buttons that I got from Fabricland. Same buttons that I used for this guy. I haven't really worn it because I don't really like how the arms fit. And I know I should block it, like, you know, you put it in water and you block it out somehow. I gotta figure that out. So I should probably do that, considering I did this, what, back in March, April. Next up is this sweater. I love this sweater. I love this sweater so much. This is probably my most frequent sweater that I always go to. Like, I know I have a lot of other ones, but this one is just so cozy, lightweight, because they are double crochets. I feel like if you use a single crochet, it's a lot more dense, whereas the bigger the crochet, like, you know, you go double and triple, treble, you know, whichever one you do, I feel like it's a lot more airy. And so it's a lot more lighter. I think I made this one back in May, so I got like 1 or 2 chances to wear before it got too hot out, and then in the fall time I really started wearing this one again because it is just so cute. I do want to mention that I don't wear my sweaters every day. Sometimes maybe I wear once a month. They're really heavy and really bulky, and sometimes, like right now, I'm just really into like the long kind of trench coat. My vintage 1940s trench coat. Not really as a trench coat, just a long coat with houndstooth and band tees, mainly Stranger Things tees, and skinny jeans or skirts. That's kind of what I'm into right now, so I haven't really worn my sweaters like a ton, so I haven't really washed them because I don't wear them enough to wash. But if I were to wash them, which eventually I will have to do, personally, how I would do it is I would hand wash them, cold water in like the problem areas, like, you know, like underneath the arms and stuff like that. And then I would probably lay them out in a towel, roll it up, stomp on it, unroll it, and then lay it flat to dry, because the yarn will probably stretch if you were to hang it over something. That's how I would wash these when I have to do that. And then I believe this was the last thing from that time, was this. And I think you all know why I made this, because Stranger Things came back, and I literally and honestly had forgotten how much I loved that show. Yeah, I forgot how much I really liked that show. So I made a waffle bag with a little butter, and I've gotten a lot of people also making their own versions, and I love seeing your versions of these things. I've like affected somebody to actually want to make something that I've created, and I think that is like amazing. And a lot of y'all have messaged me or wrote in the comments that this butter patch should be like a little pocket, and I wish I would have thought of that, because that would be adorable. Like a little pocket, maybe put a little zipper or something. Maybe if I ever make another one, I will keep that in mind. It's holding up, and I did put a lining in this one, so I learned from that other bag to put a lining in it. That was the first 6 months. Let's get on to what I made after that. Because it was the summertime, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try to focus on sewing. Didn't really go the way I wanted to, so I didn't do too much crocheting in the summertime, but then it kind of started again after I had finished watching the whole season of Stranger Things, and I think you know where I'm going with this. My Hellfire Club sweater. This is like my pride and joy. Every time I look at this, I'm just like, how did you make this? I don't know. A lot of times in my crocheting journey, it just happens. I just start with an idea, I draw it out, I start crocheting, and next thing you know, it's done. And I'm like, what happened? And how did I get here? Because looking at this, if you were to tell me that I made this, I don't know if I would believe you, because I don't really remember making it. It's amazing. I love it. This is probably my favorite thing I've ever made. I know I probably say that about everything that I've ever made, but this is, this takes the cake. 10 out of 10. I'm also gonna start rating them now because I think I rated the other ones in my last video. I'm just realizing now that I didn't rate them in this video, so we're just not gonna rate the first 6 months because it was already done. But I will start rating going forward with the other things that I haven't, you know. 10 out of 10. Love it. Favorite thing. And because I was so affected by Stranger Things, I was obsessed with their lamp. With the lampshade in the show. So I naturally had to make my own. This is it. Here's the thing. As I was making this, I kind of thrifted another lampshade that was very smaller, really cute, really vintage. So I didn't need to have 2 of them going. And although this one is great, I just think that making it out of coat hangers, not the best idea. It just didn't keep its shape, and it didn't have the shape that I wanted it to have. I haven't done anything with it. Like, I have the IKEA cord like this, and then the light bulb I did use for a brief period of time was one of those energy saver ones that you can basically hold on to it and it does not get hot. Safety first. Other than that, I didn't really get a chance to use it because it just wasn't it. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the overall idea, I love the color, I think it's great, but I think it could be better. So I'm not gonna tear it apart, but I am gonna be looking, or I have been looking for another light fixture or shade that has the same shape as this, that I can then like take apart that shade and add this to it. I wanted these to be more rounded, and they're just very flat. So I give this like a 5 out of 10. I love the colors, I love how it looks, but it wasn't it. So I think that was pretty much all that I crocheted from the summer. I think I might have made like a cup cozy. I think I made like a water bottle sleeve. In the fall, I kind of got into these pink and rusty and orange colors that I thought that this is like my fall colors. I'm gonna wear everything like with these colors all the time, and then I proceeded to not do that. Still love the colors, I just didn't do it. I made this pink vest, and although it is cute, never wore it. Then I made this one and proceeded to never wear this one as well. I don't know, just something about them are just, they're very, very bulky. I don't like it. And you know what I think it is? I think I need to block them out so they become a little bit more softer. They have a better shape to them, because right now I just feel like I'm wearing a life jacket. That's it. That is the analogy I'm going with. I feel like I'm wearing a life jacket when I'm wearing these. Well, they're for medium weight yarn, and I used a 5mm crochet hook. It just didn't work out. I think I probably should have done like a half double or a double, again, to make it a little bit more airy, a little bit more lighter. I think that would have worked better. Keeping that in mind for my future projects. You make your mistakes, you do what you think is right, and then it didn't turn out right, and then you just remember that for next time so you don't do the same thing again. Learn from your mistakes, because apparently I didn't do that when I made the second one. I give these both like a 6 out of 10. I like the colors, I just didn't really care how they fit, so I think I might block these out. And if I still don't like them, they're yarn. I'll just take them apart and redo them or make something else with it. Like, that's what I love about crocheting items, because it's not like sewing. If I don't like a dress, I can't take it apart and it will be the full piece of fabric again. You know, it's done. I can't do anything about it. Whereas yarn, I can get a whole ball of yarn and make something else out of it. You know, that's why I love crocheting and love yarn, because it's like, you make a mistake, take it apart, do it again. It is what it is. Next up, I made this bandana. Now, this one I'm not going to go into too much detail, although like, that'd be cute if I wore it like that. Ooh. My very, I said very too many times, crochet tutorial video was making a little flower daisy crochet bandana, and being my very first tutorial video, there's a lot of things that I should have done differently. Anywho, I decided to redo the video with the knowledge that I had at the time, just a few months ago, you know, the knowledge I have now, to make a better video. It is a little stiff just because of the yarn choice. When I do suggest you make these, make them out of a very, very thin, fine yarn. Even this, I think it was like a 3 weight, like a 3 ply or whatever, still too thick. Like, you need to go with, you know, those really light cottons or those really light bamboo kind of yarn. I think that's what you need to go with, because it will stick out like this. Like, it is what it is. This I give an 8 out of 10. Because I haven't really worn it, because I wasn't really into bandanas. I just made it for the video at the time. So the last few months, I have done quite a few big sweater cardigan projects. First off, we have this pumpkin sweater. I love this. It's so cute. I still can't believe I made it on the back and on the front. I did the reverse on the sleeves and I did the reverse on the bottom because I was kind of thinking, what if I just did like a black bottom, but then the black side here would just look a lot longer because it'd be all one color. So I swapped those out. And this was actually quite easy to do. I think I finished it like a week before Halloween. So I didn't really get a lot of chances to wear it. And I know technically I could wear it all year round, but I have other things that I need to wear all year round. So this I give a 10 out of 10. I'm giving out the big points to this because it is so adorable, so cute. It worked out perfectly. I didn't have any problems with this. I think the only problem I had was trying to find this green, which is Guacamole. I bought it at Michael's. It is the Impeccable brand. And at the time it was a brand new color. So I couldn't find it anywhere online. So I was kind of stressing out about getting this perfect green. And then I went into the store like, what is this color here? And they only had like 3 skeins of yarn or skeins of yarn. And so I bought all 3. And luckily that was enough. I think I bought another one later on, which thank goodness I did because my sister ended up using it and then I also ended up using it. On to the next sweater / cardigan. My birthday cardigan, and I call it my birthday cardigan because it was my project for November. My birthday's in November and I like to have like a project that I can wear for my birthday. Last year it was a dress that I only wore one time and it was on my birthday and then I forgot I owned it. But this year it was this really cute cardigan, very, very heavy, but really warm. And then I even added some cute little buttons onto it. And there's the back. Now, I give this project an 8 out of 10, but boy howdy did this mentally drain me because I wanted it to be a sweater, and so I mapped it out as a sweater. I made a bunch of squares. I put a sweater on, and I hated it. I hated it so much. So then I'm like, oh, I'll just crop it a little bit and I'll take some squares out. I hated that too. I have to say, I'm not 100% in love with it. And then I'm like, you know what? Let's just make it into a cardigan because we've already gone too far. So I took more squares out. And then as soon as I made it into a cardigan, it just clicked in my head. I'm like, oh, this works so much better. And I had made cardigans well over a year ago. I made like the sunburst one and then like the checkered one. And then I kind of stopped because I just didn't really care for how they fit. Moved on to sweaters and then I just kind of forgot about cardigans. And then once I made this into a cardigan, I really like this. So going on to my next project, I made another cardigan because originally my plan for this was I was actually going to do a pink sweater like this pink here and then do like a bunch of trees on it. But with how much I loved that birthday cardigan, I decided that I wanted to do this as a cardigan as well. And oh my goodness, I don't understand how I made it. This is a 10 out of 10. This is the front. We have the back of it. I put like little snowflakes. They're iridescent pearls. It doesn't really show iridescent on camera, but up close they have like the blues and the greens and the pinks in them. I have this here on the sleeve and I put it on the bottom here with this pink and white. I kind of wanted to do like a candy stripe, you know, ribbing on it, and I think it turned out just so nice. And I wasn't too sure about putting the snowflakes on the back. They don't bother me when I've worn it and I've sat back. I don't really feel them because this yarn is super thick. So this is also pretty heavy. Okay, and the last, well, it's not my last crochet project of the year, but the last one that I've done a video for, which was actually my last video before I took my winter break because I needed a little break. Wednesday Addams checkered vest from the show Wednesday on Netflix. I think it turned out pretty spot on. Like, it looks pretty spot on. I have my reservations on it just because I made it a little bit too big. And again, when I try things on, I'm like, oh, like they need to be bigger. And then when I do it, I kind of forget that yarn stretches a little bit. And then, you know, I do have some plans for it. I haven't worn it, unfortunately, just because it is way too oversized at the moment, like way too oversized. I really love how it turned out, but what I need to do, I think I'm gonna take 1 or 2 squares off the bottom. On the side here, I'm going to take these panels off, like the 2 panels on the side, and I'm gonna shrink them in and recrochet them and put them on. There's no point in me having this and then never wearing it where I could fix it, and I have to do that sooner than later. Maybe I'll do that today. And then this is the, you know, pro sewing side where if I need to take something in, I could just sew it and then cut off that extra fabric and be done with it. Whereas I can't really cut this because I would just ruin the yarn. So I would have to take this all apart. But I give this a 9 out of 10 because it's adorable. I'm super excited to wear it. I just need to make some revisions on it. That being said, because I made that, I needed to make a matching hat. Did not make a tutorial video for this because I wanted it. I wanted it now. When I do a tutorial video, I literally have to sit in front of my camera for like 2-3 hours, step by step by step, and then I step away from the camera, I do a little bit more, I come back, I show the next step, etc. If you take, I don't know what happened to that hat. If you take my one video on how to make a hat, it was a yellow hat, and then you look at the video of how I made this and you put them together, you can make this hat. So essentially all you're doing is just making a really long panel of this, and then you're folding it, and then you're just gonna stitch it up and like do the little thing in the top of the hat and you're good to go. So that's basically how I made this hat. I give this hat a 10 out of 10. I've always wanted a checkered hat because the one I always wear is a yellow hat, but I always wear yellow coats and I don't want to be like too matchy-matchy. I've wanted this hat for so long and I just never got around to it. So I'm very happy I got around to it now. I'm on to the very last thing that I have crocheted in 2022. I was gonna say 2021. I don't even know what year it is anymore. I don't know how this happened. I made my sister this. She loves frogs, and it's actually a yarn bowl. I need to still get her a bowl. I was gonna do it, and then the last 3 days basically before Christmas was like a snowstorm, so couldn't really leave the house to do that. But you get a bowl. I want to get a bowl a little bit bigger than this, and you put it in there, and then you put your ball of yarn in there, and then you crochet and the yarn comes out. His little mouth, and I gave him little hands. When I gave this to her for Christmas because it was a Christmas present, she's like, oh, where'd you get that from? I'm like, I crocheted it. And she's like, where'd you get the pattern from? I'm like, I just came up with it. I don't know how this happened. I don't have a tutorial for it, and I'm probably not gonna make one for it just because I don't need another one. Essentially, I just made a round bottom and then just crocheted up and then did something here and gave him some eyes and 2 hands. Then I just made a pink mouth. My initial idea was I was gonna get air dry clay and make her a clay bowl and make it a frog like exactly like this, but in clay version, and it was not happening. I had made the bowl, it had cracked overnight. I made another bowl, it would not cure, like it would not get solid. It kept cracking, it was very soft, it just kept breaking, and I'm like, I'm gonna crochet it 2 days before Christmas. And I'm like, I'm gonna crochet it, and I did it. A 10 out of 10? Kind of reminds me of that frog from The Simpsons.
Please kill me.
It's interesting. That is everything that I have crocheted in 2022. I'm really happy that I got a lot of things done. It's funny because I always think back to when my Oma gave me her bucket of yarn, which is over there somewhere, in like 2008, and some crochet hooks. That would be my job, or one of my jobs, is to make crochet content for the internet. Who would have known? Another funny thing I always think about is that when I started my YouTube channel, I thought I was gonna be, I do a lot of thrifting, but I thought I was just gonna be like strictly a thrifting, little bit of sewing, but mostly thrifting, thrift flips kind of like channel. Look at me now. I feel like a lot of my followers follow me because of the crochet content that I make. And to be honest, I love crocheting. I never put crochet and YouTube together other than tutorials, and the fact that I can just make something and put a video out and y'all watch it and y'all love it makes me so happy because I love crocheting, and the fact that like I can do that for like a living, not a full-time living, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Hopefully soon. It's just amazing. If you are new to my channel and you like sewing, crafting, thrifting, and of course, you know, crocheting, why not hit that subscribe button? You can also follow me on my Instagram and my TikTok, which is both Fancy Dinosaur Tea Party. I think that is it. So y'all have a good day now.